Hi everyone, Mike the MC bringing another self-care video. Why does evil exist? And I think with respect to number 309 of the Catechism today, if you consider why do things happen to us that are not so beneficial? Why do we suffer? Why do we work so hard if we recognize that all of it can come to a crash, to a halt, and never have anything successful anymore in our lives? Our dreams are shattered all because we fell into bankruptcy, we fell into a divorce, we fell into all these horrible things in life. We were cheated on, we just lost a business partner, we lost a good friend to a casualty, right? You can think of all the negatives in life and wonder why even try it all. But I think the thing about this question of evil, from what they're going to share with you now in 309 that I'll share with you, is the idea of there's so many ways to answer that question. But it comes back to your understanding at the end of the day of how you perceive it. And then with that collection of everybody sharing their thoughts on the idea of evil, what is it that can unite people to help others survive in this world throughout the centuries? And so we'll consider that with respect to 309 of the Catechism. And so let's see what it has to say with respect to the providence and scandal of evil. 309. If God the Father Almighty, the creator of the ordered and good world, cares for all his creatures, why does evil exist? To this question, as pressing as it is unavoidable, and as painful as it is mysterious, no quick answer will suffice. Only Christian faith as a whole constitutes the answer to this question. The goodness of creation, the drama of sin, and the patient love of God, who comes to meet man by his covenants, the redemptive incarnation of his Son, is his gift of the Spirit, his giving of the church, gathering of the church, the power of the sacraments, and his call to a blessed life to which free creatures are invited, consent in advance, but from which by a terrible mystery they can also turn away in advance. There is not a single aspect of the Christian message that is not in part an answer to the question of evil. And so that may not be the most beneficial answer to everyone wondering why does evil exist. Now from a religious perspective, the Catholic one, we would say, oh, okay, well, sin just came into the world because we disobeyed, by our own action, okay, that's kind of our blemish, so way to go us, right? But then you can think from an outside perspective of faith, you're looking at, okay, everything is fair and equal. You can look at gravity, you can look at the forces of life, the stars, the universe. Think about, okay, when stars are no longer heating the universe okay, things will get cold and pass away. Or when they get too large and they take out the planets, eventually ours is in the way of the sun. But that's like many, 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 many years later, right? We won't have to worry about that, but it will inevitably happen. And so you wonder, okay, is there an end to everything, or is there a continuation of some kind that we're just not aware of? Where are we going to find peace with all this unknown in our life? How can we find peace not knowing the answers to all of it? And I would think the great solution is for all of us to share our understandings, to work together in this respect. And you think, all right, well, everyone could argue about what is the origin of evil, why things happen the way they do, and is it fair, is it unfair? Okay, what is your perception? What is my perception? And how do we all work together to have a consensus of what it is that evil does exist? Why does it all happen? And I think when we work together to share the answers and we start to think about how we can solve problems in the world, you wonder, okay, let me try that solution in my life. Let me share that with other people. Hey, you heard my lesson? You heard my advice today? That's cool. Okay, well, I guess I had a good answer, right? Thank you for acknowledging that. And so things happen when we start to converse, when we start to work together. And that's the cooperation I'm alluding to. The leadership of the people working together. We don't have to be the smartest or the brightest, the strongest, the most intellectual to solve every problem, right? That things will happen in life. Plagues, disasters, the weather, and all the other disasters you can think about, famines, anything that can just destroy a civilization. And so when you are about to face a problem, always consider who you can talk with, who you can converse with. Even check your resources. Where especially nowadays, I would actually say this is where the online sources can really be of help, because you can find a cure to a problem right away. Broken ankle, you have a disease, you know which medication to buy from the store. You're like, okay, I have these symptoms. What must I do to get this to help my patient right now? Okay, so information is helpful, but pairing that with experience, you can solve a lot of problems. And I think when we were fighting the the tragedy of evil in life, as long as we work together and share our advice, there's a chance that we can help as many people as we can, the animals we take care of, our crops, supplies, everything, and make sure we put everything to good use as well. And so always remember, advice paired with information with that experience can really go a long way in helping your community. So consider that and be a good, effective leader where people need you the most. Things to consider. All right, everyone. Hope this one finds you well with 309 of the Catechism. Evil does exist, but based on your perception and my perception, we can talk, find solutions, and work together to bring help and healing to other people in need. All right, everyone. Hope this one finds you well. Take care. Have a good one.